if you are joining us right now, we're just getting our third conversation started, and we are shifting gears and talking a little bit about animals. And we specifically are going to be speaking about the increase of the abandonment of animals that has started since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. Joining us for this discussion this morning, we have Michelle Rudon, who is a volunteer with Belize City Animal Aid and the Humane Society, and we also have Jeanna Sosa, who is a volunteer with the Belize City Animal Aid Board. Good morning.
Morning.
Hi, good morning.
Right.
Thanks for having us today.
Well, thank you for joining us. This is, of course, a topic which probably doesn't get spoken about enough. And, you know, why don't we, I mean, at normal times, I should say, we have issues with animal treatment and animal abandonment. And things, I imagine, would have only gotten worse since the beginning of the pandemic. So why don't you talk about a little bit of what you've seen over the past year with at the Humane Society and Animal Aid Board? So Michelle, do you want to take that one and start?
Yeah, we've been extremely alarmed for the past year at the increase in the number of cases of abandonment, of animal abuse. I mean, you name it, we've seen it, and it's really disheartening as a group to be able to be, to have to be dealing with these cases, because we truly love animals and we want the best for them. But we've been seeing animals left tied 24 hours without shelter, the sun burning them, no water, no food. We've seen animals abandoned along the highway, animals abandoned in dumps. People just put their animals out on the street and close the gate behind them and turn a blind eye. And what's happening is these animals are not used to being on the street. They were family pets at some time. They're used to being in a home with food, with water. So when you take an animal that's used to that and put him or her on the street, they don't know how to handle themselves. So what happens then? They get into fights, they get beaten up, and then our group gets called because we then have to either try to bring back an animal that has been severely injured, or as has often been the case recently, we have to put the animals to sleep. And trust me, if you ever have to sit beside an animal knowing that you're putting this animal to sleep, it's something you don't want to go through. It's extremely heartbreaking. And we've been going through way too many of these cases recently because of owner negligence and owner abandonment of their pets.
Yeah. So let's talk about the Humane Society itself, because I think that, oftentimes people see an animal and I see them say, well, where is the Humane Society? But you're a volunteer group and there's no actual established, shelter or place for these animals to go. How do you keep on going if you don't have these functions in place?
That's one of our biggest challenges, because believe me, Marlene, we get calls, messages, texts, tags on Facebook 24/7. And we have to keep reminding people, listen, we love animals, we truly care about them, and that's why we're doing this. We're doing this with all heart. But we have families, we have lives, we have jobs, and the community really needs to step up and take part in this also, because it's very challenging for us, and especially now with COVID, because the numbers of abandonment, of abuse have just tripled or quadrupled. And our group is all volunteers. We have our fundraisers, and that's how we get our funds to take care of the animals. Yeah. But the cases have been so overwhelming that even our resources are running out. We need the help. We need the help of the community at large.
Yeah. Jeanna, tell us a bit about your volunteer work with the Animal Aid Board.
Okay, good morning. So I chair the Animal Welfare Committee. And what I help to do is rescue animals, provide animal care, oversee animal adoption and fostering. And we work with a big group of volunteers. So we take time out of our day from our families, from our work to do this. So what we really need is the help from the community to help us, to assist. Whenever you see an animal in distress, an animal being abused, do something about it. Call the police, make a report. something simple as giving strays water and food really, really helps them because they're out here surviving.
Yeah, absolutely. You said call the police. That's one of the things that I think people don't know, that there are actually laws in place that it is illegal to hurt animals.
Yes, it is illegal to hurt your animals, to have them there without food and water. If you see an animal going without food and water for 12 hours, by law, you can go inside that yard and give that animal food or water. And you can make a report to the police. You just need to take evidence with you. So we do have laws in place, and we do hope to enforce those laws.
And, Michelle, you were speaking about the huge increase that you've seen over the past year of both, neglect, abuse, and abandonment. And do you think, do you think that trend will decrease anytime soon?
Gavin, we would be extremely hopeful that it would. Realistically speaking, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure, because what we've been seeing also, which again is alarming to us, is overbreeding. Every time you put on Facebook, you see these ads, people selling puppies, and basically what is happening too, we have had a pattern in the past 6 months where small dogs are being stolen. And I suspect that the dogs are being stolen for overbreeding, because then a little while after that, you see all the ads popping up with puppies,
Yeah.
So this is another trend that, I don't know. We've been looking at Belize and, we're just, I don't know, it's like everybody has just gone crazy since COVID, and a lot of people are using COVID as an excuse to be irresponsible pet owners. And I don't know, it's depressing. It's depressing because we want better, we can do better, we should do better, and we owe it to our animals to do better for them, because they depend on us 100%. If you take a pet that has been used to food and water and love and affection and just throw this pup along the highway, what happens,
Yeah.
What happens to that dog?
So in this tough economic times, do you think that it's people letting the animals loose because they can't afford to keep them anymore?
Could be. We've had a few cases where this has happened, yes, it could be.
Yeah.
But that's not the most effective thing to do, because if you just let your animal out, then how will the animal get water and food?
Yeah.
Where will the animal shelter at night? And our group has really been trying to get a shelter set in place, because we get calls, I would figure at least 4 to 5 calls a day, sometimes more.
Yeah.
So we're in extreme need of a shelter right now, and that's what we're trying to do, so that we have somewhere that we can take the animals when we rescue them.
There was a time where the Belize City Council had a shelter that they used to use. What happened to it? Like, that's not in use anymore?
No, Caroline Bowen was the one. She was the previous Humane Society, and she was the one who was in charge of that. Okay. But what people were doing, Marlene, they were just going to the shelter and just dumping, throwing their animals over the fence. Oh. So that became a huge problem, and the society got overburdened with not enough resources, not enough assistance from anybody except the volunteers, and way too many animals. So that shelter also had to close down a few years ago.
Wow. Yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry, we're the most populated district in the country of Belize. So we have the most strays here. So we are overwhelmed in the city with stray cats, stray dogs all over the place. So dumping these animals just adds to that. And then what happens is when these dogs or cats get loose and they're not fixed, they're not spayed, neutered by their owners, they breed. Animals get born into this world, they suffer, they cruelly die, and then the cycle continues. So we definitely urge pet owners to please, please, please spay and neuter your animals. It does help them also in the long run for their health. It helps against certain cancers and infections.
And what is the sort of network of support that you guys have among volunteers or maybe people who are willing to give resources or even foster or adopt animals? What level of support do you guys currently have with that?
Well, our group is extremely dynamic. I always tease them and say that whenever I start doubting the world, I think about them and immediately I feel better. Because this group is really, really dedicated. They're loving, they genuinely love what they do. They're not doing it just for recognition or whatever, right? They genuinely love animals and extremely dedicated group. Basically 24/7 we go, right? We have a core group of about 10. They're our main group, 10 main volunteers. Those are Deandra Peralta, she's the head of the group. We have Elise Wade, Romy Wade, Devon Usher, he's the guy that goes around picking up the animals when we get the calls. Mm-hmm. We have Stephanie Skeen, Halima Santos, Jocelyn Carvajal, Alexa Sosa, Lucy Stables, and Cindy Blanco. And of course, Jeanna and myself. So that's our. And then outside of this group, we also have about 6 to 8 people who help us with fosters. If we have an animal in an emergency and we need to find a foster real quick, we have a few homes, not many, but we have a few homes that we can call and say, listen, we have an emergency. And if we don't find a home for this animal, we're going to have to put him or her to sleep immediately. So please help, right? But we need more fosters because if we had people that we could call and say, listen, we have an emergency. We just picked up this dog off the highway. Can you please take in this dog? It would be a huge help to our group. Yeah. Because right now we're rescuing 50 dogs and only have 2 fosters, so wow. The balance is really bad, right?
Yeah. It's such a tough situation because while we do have laws, we know that they're not, not many people consider the responsibilities that come along with being a pet owner. They get a puppy, it's cute, and then, that wears off and whatever happens. But it is a situation where, from the Humane Society point of view, it does have to get under control. The collaboration that you have, and I understand that you're swamped with just rescues, but how do you work with other agencies that can assist, whether it's the police department or other entities that can assist?
Jeanna?
Yeah. Is she still there?
Well,
okay.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Well, we've had some really, really sad cases of animal abuse come up, and people go and they make these reports to the police, but sometimes these reports aren't followed through. So what we would want is for the police to really help us, be on our side to do this.
Yeah, that would.
It seems. Sorry, you were saying?
No, go ahead.
Okay. It seems that the way I see it is that we do have great pet owners here, people who care, who volunteer, who foster, who adopt, but it's never enough. We always need more. We definitely need more support, more donations, more help from the police.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And more help from the community at large, because people forget that we're volunteers, Everybody says, call the Humane Society, and we're like, oh, please help us too, It's like people would pass along the highway and they're like, Nish, we just saw 2 puppies thrown on the highway. And I'm like, okay, and what did you do? Did you pick them up? Well, no. Why? Why didn't you pick them up? Oh, because we were driving past, and then the expectation has been that, call one of the members of the Humane Society and they will immediately drop what they're doing. You're feeding your baby, you'll have to pick up and go and pick up the dog. You're at work, pick up and go and pick up the dog or the cat. And we need the help. We're volunteers, We really need the help and we need the support of the community. Yeah. Like what Jeanna said, a simple thing like putting out a bucket of water for the strays. It is extremely hot. The strays are suffering. They have no food, they have no water, Put buckets of water right in front of your gate for the strays. It could literally mean life or death for an animal. And one of our members actually took that on her own and did that. Myrna, what she has been doing is going around putting buckets of water in locations for animals, and it's been helping the strays a lot because they already identify the area where the bucket of water is. So, you know, that represents life or death for that animal for the day.
Yeah, that's true. You know, it's like a good sign that you get people making reports. I mean, that's showing that there's some level of care for the animals. But you're right, there doesn't seem to be a connection between caring about the animal, but they prefer to call you to deal with it than perhaps to see what actions they can take. Do you take more volunteers? How do people get involved?
Jeanna?
Well, right now we don't have an actual facility for people to come, you know, but that is our goal in the future. Right now, what we have is just a yard that we're holding some animals. So we were actually hoping to have some volunteers come this weekend, you know, to bathe the animals that we have right now, to play with them, walk with them, because they don't just need food and water, you know, they need entertainment as well. They need love. They've had a hard life. So if anyone is free this weekend and would like to volunteer, they can go ahead and message the Belize City Animal Aid on our Facebook and our Instagram messengers. Yeah. And whenever we do fundraising events, we always need people to come out and support. Yeah. If you would like to be out there with us under our tent, you know, selling tacos or selling baked goods, we always need the help. We welcome anyone who wants to volunteer. Just go ahead, send us a message. We'll get back to you and we'll let you know how much further you can be involved.
And it's fun. It's always fun.
Well, I mean, once there are puppies involved, that makes it a lot better. I know right now you're trying to get some puppies off your hands. Tell us a bit about that for people who are interested in adopting.
Yes, we have. This is Harley that you're seeing right now. Oh, Harley was so found cute on the street in very rough shape, and he is doing so good. Check him out. He's a model. I know. So Harley has been fully vaccinated. He has been fixed. One thing that we always do is make sure that our dogs are healthy. You know, we want them vaccinated. We want them fixed. We don't want them to be taken just for breeding. Okay. So Harley is up for adoption. If anyone is interested, let us know. He is a very, very sweet boy. Oh, very, very active as well. So you got to keep up with his energy.
Well,
and the cat that...
Yeah, you can go on.
Yeah, there's a delay. So just go ahead, yeah.
Cotton, the white cat that was shown just now, she is also up for adoption. Her story is really sad, actually. Yes, this is Cotton. She's very beautiful. She has been vaccinated and fixed as well. She's a little bit under a year old. She had baby kittens, and sadly they died, and she was very, very sad. Animals get sad, depressed, just like us. You know, they feel that pain. And she has come back, and she is a brand new cat. So she is also up for adoption.
Okay. All right, and you are on social media. If people want to see more, get in touch.
Yes, and also definitely. If they want to support our events too, we always post flyers of the different events that we'll be having. We post them on the Belize City Animal Aid page, and our volunteers also post them individually on their pages. So if the community would come out and support the different events that we have, that would be awesome.
Okay.
Speaking of, we have a yard sale coming up May 8th, Saturday at the Belize Northern Highway. So look out for our posts that we're gonna make on that on Facebook and Instagram.
All right, so we'll definitely be...
Anything you can, you don't even have to buy. If you just want to donate, go ahead, do it.
No, we want to buy. And buy lots.
Yeah.
And we also have an art drive. Now, this art drive is headed and created by Marcele Gonzalez. It's a group of local artists that have come together, pulled their efforts in, and through art. So you can have your pets digitally drawn, painted, embroidered, professional photography being taken of them, and what you pay for it goes back to us. So all the proceeds goes back to Animal Aid.
Nice.
All right. Well, ladies, that we hope that you get the support that you need from the community, not only in volunteers, but also in supporting all of those initiatives that you just outlined. But we are just about out of time for this segment, so I want to say thank you for joining us and highlighting this really, really important topic.
Thank you for having us.
All right.
Thank you for having us. Yes.
All right, and stay safe.
Thank you.
And with that, we are going to be taking our final break, and when we come back, we're going to have our wrap-up, so please stay tuned.
2020 taught us the importance of being connected to the virtual world, and NextGen is here to keep its commitment to you. Even if you're physically apart, NextGen keeps you digitally connected.
Okay everyone, thank you for following me today.
NextGen provides more than just an internet plan. They provide service plans that support all your online needs. Sign up today and get your NextGen's ultra high-speed internet service. NextGen, powered by Central TV and Internet.
In these challenging times, the one thing that is certain is that the Belize Bank Limited is here for you. There is nothing more important than your health and safety, and we continue to make every effort to make banking safer for you. Our staff is working around the clock to make sure you can do your banking conveniently 24/7 using our mobile banking app and online banking and keeping ATMs up and running. We value your relationship with us and are here to provide the support you need. First responders are also out there 24/7. Thank you, healthcare workers, security forces, firefighters, caregivers. You are all appreciated. Stay safe. We will get through this together. The Belize Bank, our country, your bank.
Hello Belize. You may not be aware of the new travel requirements set in place by the Center of Disease Control and Prevention. Passengers traveling to the U.S. must present a negative COVID test or a documentation of having recovered from COVID-19 to travel to the U.S. In light of this, Maya, in partnership with Caring Hands Clinic, have established testing centers in all their municipal airports. Caring Hands Antigen Test Center is operational in San Pedro, Belize City, Dangriga, Placencia, and Hopkins. These testing facilities are staffed by licensed healthcare professionals, including doctors, registered nurses, and nurse practitioners. Testing is done using Abbott rapid test devices that are FDA approved and made in the USA. The service is safe, fast, affordable, and the close proximity of the centers makes them convenient. Walk-ins are welcomed, but appointments are encouraged. If you would like to make an appointment, please feel free to do so at Make your appointment, get tested, and in 15 minutes, you can get back to your vacation.
We're back.
And if you are joining us right now, we're just finishing up our show
Yes.
after a bunch of great conversations.
Well, very diverse for sure.
Yes.
From talking about the economy and the budget to talking about the participants at the Welcome Resource Center. Please remember that they are looking for assistance, financial, clothing, food, time as well. It's so important that we're able to keep this particular center going and that you can offer them support.
Yeah, and another vulnerable group that we spoke about this morning as well are our animals. So we want to thank the representatives from the Belize City Animal Aid Board, Humane Society, from coming in and giving us this update. If you can support them in any way, or if you can even take the initiative to volunteer with them, to foster an animal, to adopt one, you know, try to contact them, and we definitely encourage you to do that because, as you know, as we discussed, animal abuse, neglect is increasing, and if you want to help, if you're an animal lover and you want to help out, try to support the Humane Society.
That's right. All right, but that's all the time we have for today. Remember, if you want to contact us, send us an email at oye@channel5belize.com.
You can also find us on Facebook at Open Your Eyes BZ and on Instagram at OIE Belize.
And remember to tune in tomorrow morning at 6:30 when you open your eyes.
Start your morning right.
Until then, keep your eyes, your mind,
And your heart open.
We'll see you soon. Enjoy your day, Belize.
Open Your Eyes was brought to you by the Belize Bank, our country, your bank.